Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. To make this cabled boyfriend sweater, you will need a weight 4 yarn and a 6mm crochet hook. So begin by chaining 61 for small, 66 for medium, 71 for large, 76 for extra large, 81 for 2XL, 91 for 3XL, 96 for 4XL and 101 for 5XL. So begin by making a double crochet into the third chain from the hook, and then continue with the double crochet into every chain to the very end. So for your next row, chain 2, turn your work, and next you're going to do a front post double crochet into that next stitch. Then you're going to make a back post double crochet into the following stitch. And then you're going to alternate between front post double crochet and back post double crochet until you reach the very end of this row. You're going to place one double crochet into that chain 2 at the very end of this row. So you're going to repeat this row a further 2 or 3 more times. It depends on how wide you want your band to be. So for the next row, you're going to chain 3. This counts as your first double crochet. Turn your work. And then into that next stitch, you're going to place a double crochet. And then you're going to place a double crochet into the next 3 stitches. So altogether you're going to have 5 double crochet. So on your 5th double crochet, see there we have 5 double crochet. When you reach your 5th double crochet, you're going to make a chain of 10. So make 10 chains. So once you have your chain of 10 made, you're going to make a slip stitch into the top of your last double crochet. So insert your hook into the front loop of that double crochet like so, and then insert your hook into the post of that double crochet just like so, and then make your slip stitch. So now you've created a loop. So now you're going to make 5 more double crochet. And then you're going to chain 10. Once you have your chain 10 done, you're going to slip stitch into the top of your double crochet like so, and then into the center of that double crochet post. So you're going to repeat that towards the very end of the row. After this, you're going to do 5 double crochet, then chain 10, slip stitch into the top of that double crochet, do 5 more double crochet, and then chain 10, and just keep going until you reach the very end. So now chain 1, turn your work, and you're going to make 5 single crochets. So make your first single crochet into that very first space. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So you're going to hold that loop behind, and then you're going to make 5 more single crochet. Hold that loop behind, and then make 5 more single crochet. So just keep counting in 5s so that you know that at the end of this row you'll have the right stitch count. So at the end of that row, chain 3. This counts as your first double crochet. And now you're going to make 4 more double crochet. Then chain 10. Then you're going to slip stitch into that front loop of your last double crochet and then into the center post of that double crochet. Make your slip stitch. And then you're going to do 5 double crochet and then chain 10, slip stitch into the top of that double crochet, 5 more double crochet, chain 10, slip stitch into the top of the last double crochet, and continue like that until you reach the end. So once you have this row completed, you're going to alternate between a row of single crochet and this row. So continue that until this whole front panel measures about 22 inches. If you want your top longer, just add more rows to it. So once your front panel is long enough, you'll have a crazy square that looks something like this. So now we're going to start braiding through these loops. So grab your crochet hook and insert it into that first loop like so. Then insert it into the next loop and pull that loop through the first loop. And just keep continuing like this all the way up to the very top. And then you're going to do the same all the way across your top. So once you have all your loops braided, you'll have something that looks like this. You'll have a loop at the end of each braid. So now you're going to chain 3 and you're going to double crochet into every stitch all the way across. So at the end of that row, you're going to chain 1, then turn your work, and then you're going to make 5 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then when you get onto your 5th, insert your hook like so, grab the loop from behind, insert your hook into that loop, and then finish off your single crochet. So now you're going to make 5 more single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then when you get to your 5th, insert your hook, grab that loop, insert your hook into that loop, and then finish off your single crochet. So repeat that all the way to the very end of this row. So at this stage, you should have something that looks like this. So now we're going to start working on the neckline. So chain 3, this counts as your first double crochet, and then make a further 16 double crochet for a small, 19 for medium, 22 for large, 25 for extra large, 28 for 2XL, 31 for 3XL, 34 for 4XL, and 37 for 5XL. So at the end of that row, chain 1 and then turn your work, and then you're going to place a single crochet into every stitch all the way across. At the end of that row, we're going to chain 3, turn our work, and then double crochet into every stitch all the way across. When you reach the end of that row, chain 1, turn your work, and then place a single crochet into every stitch all the way across. At the end of that row, cut your yarn, leave a long tail, and then fasten off. So now we're going to flip our work over and we're going to work on the second shoulder. I already have mine done, so whatever number of stitches you had on the other side, work that number in, attach your yarn, chain 3, double crochet across, chain 1, single crochet across, then chain 3 again, double crochet across, and then chain 1 and single crochet across, and then fasten off. So now we're going to work on the back panel. So you're going to repeat what you did for the band on the back panel, on the front panel. So whatever number of stitches you chained, do the exact same thing, and then do your few rows of front post double crochet. So now we're going to chain 3. This of course counts as your first double crochet. Turn your work, and then you're going to place a double crochet into every stitch all the way across. So at the end of that row, we're going to chain 1, turn your work, and then you're going to place a single crochet into that very first stitch, and then place a single crochet into every stitch all the way across. So you're going to alternate between a row of double crochet and a row of single crochet until this back panel is the exact same length as your front panel. Once you have the exact same number of rows for your back panel as your front panel, put that to one side and we're going to start on the sleeves. So begin by making a chain of 31. Then double crochet into the third chain from the hook, and then continue with the double crochet into every chain until you reach the very end. So next, chain 2, turn your work, and then into that next stitch we're going to do a front post double crochet. And then we're going to do a back post double crochet into the next stitch. So you're going to alternate between doing a front post double crochet and a back post double crochet until you reach the end. So when you reach the end of this row, you're going to place a double crochet into the top of that chain 2. So you're going to keep repeating that row for another 1 or 2 more times. It depends on how thick you want your cuff to be. So once you have your preferred thickness for your cuff, chain 3. This counts as your first double crochet, and into that same stitch as your chain 3, you're going to place another double crochet. So you have increased here. So now place a double crochet into every stitch until you reach the end. So here we are at the end. This is your chain 2. So into the top of that chain 2, you're going to place 2 double crochets. So now you have increased at the beginning of this row and at the end of this row. So now chain 1 and then turn your work, and then you're going to make a single crochet into every stitch all the way across. So now you're going to alternate between a double crochet row and a single crochet row, but you're going to increase in every double crochet row at the beginning of that row and the end of that row. So here we are now on our next row. This is our double crochet row and our increase row. So in every double crochet row from here on, you're going to increase at the beginning of this row and at the end, and keep increasing until you have 32 stitches for a small, 34 for medium, 36 for large, 38 for extra large, 42 for 2XL, 46 for 3XL, 48 for 4XL, and 48 for 5XL. So here I've just finished my last increase row. So for the next row, I'm going to chain 1 and then single crochet across. So from now on, there's going to be no increase rows. So finish off this row, it's a row of single crochet, then the next row is going to be a row of double crochet, and keep repeating those rows until the entire sleeve measures about 18 inches long. So now we're going to move back to our front and back panels. Lay your back panel down, then grab your front panel, make sure the right side is facing down, and then you're going to sew your 2 shoulders together. Just sew all the way across here, and the same on the other side. Then you're going to lay your entire piece down flat with the right side facing down. Then grab one of your sleeves and you're going to fold that lengthwise, and you're going to find the middle stitch. Make sure it's not the cuff end. So find that middle stitch, and then you're going to grab a stitch marker and line that up with your shoulder seam. So just attach it like so. And now you're going to sew your sleeve to your sweater. And the same to the other side, and then fold your sweater over, sew up along the side and up along the bottom part of your sleeve, and do the same on the other side. So now we're going to start working on the neckline. So attach your yarn to any of the corners, really, it really doesn't matter. So attach your yarn. Then insert your hook, pull your yarn through, and then chain 3. This counts as your first double crochet. And now you're going to double crochet into the next stitch, and then keep making double crochets all the way around the entire neckline. So now we've done our double crochet all the way across our neckline. So now we're going to slip stitch into the top of this chain 3 just to close the round. And now we're going to chain 3, and into that next stitch we're going to do a front post double crochet. And then we're going to do a back post double crochet into the next stitch. So continue that all the way around your neckline, alternating between a front post double crochet and a back post double crochet. And you're going to repeat this row for another 3 or 4 times. So you should have something that looks like this, and your sweater is finally completed. If you liked this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below what you'd like to see me make next. So until next time, take care.